Yo, 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 it's your boy Bobby Frost, and Bobby Frost Media presents Transparency. I'm with my dog, Shake.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though?
And man, you know, it's sad times in our community. You know, us being from Flint and being Flint-based, and Grand Blanc being a brother-like city right next to us in the same county. And they had a tragedy this Sunday, horrible tragedy. And you know, my heart goes out to them. My condolences to all the people affected, all the victims. It was just senseless. And, you know, it's on a rise with mass shootings. And it feels different when it's closer to home. You know, I was coming down, coming down 75 rather. And I seen the smoke. And the only thing I thought was like, man, somebody's house or building's on fire. So I didn't think nothing of it. You know, I kept on driving. And then my dog, Brad, who worked for Grand Blanc Community Schools, he called me and said, man, did you hear what happened in Grand Blanc? And the first thing that hit me was, yo, it must be an accident because gun violence don't really happen in Grand Blanc. Now, if you just said Flint, my first thing would have been, yeah, somebody probably got shot. You know what I'm saying? But being from there, like, I'm like, no, I ain't think so. And when he told me what happened, I went on social media. He asked me first, like, have you been on social media? Facebook. I'm like, nah, I ain't been on social media about 3 hours. I was out to eat, got up, went out to eat. Not even really went out to eat, picked some food up and came back. I'm like, nah, I don't see nothing. And then, you know, that happened. And I'm like, shit. You know, I'm like, man, this is crazy how that happened, how that went. And it was just, you know, it was horrible, man, you know, thinking about that. And it's just the first thing popped in my mind was like, what if that was my kids? What if that was one of my friends? What if that was one of my family members? You know, what if I was in that situation and I didn't have my firearm on me? What to do? What you do next? How would you act? How could I save somebody? Would I sacrifice myself to save somebody? And like, just thinking about that, working for the school for sure, they have a couple active shooting trainings you take when the school year first start. It's called ALEC or something like that. It's something to that effect with the acronym, but it's active shooter some plan. And I just like how many families really sit down and hammer home, hey, if this happens in an establishment, this is what I need you to do. These are the tactics. These are the survival tips I need you to do to be able to survive a mass shooting. You know, telling your kid or a loved one to play dead. All them type of things. Like, who goes through that with their kids? Like, I know you're going to feel me when I come with this one, Shake. For me and you growing up where we grew up at, we going to react different because we've been in them situations with gun violence.
Exactly.
But for a person who haven't, and like us raising our kids not to be in that environment, I don't think they going to have the same wits we had because they didn't have to go around it. It's like, you know, working at my job with a lot of staff, when kids get to fighting in there, you can see their adrenaline get to pumping real hard. They get to sweating hard. And like one of my supervisors, Ms. G, always said, like, you don't, they just said that in the training we just took, restraint training, like, you don't get really rattled, you even kill. I said, yeah, because I've been around that all my life. So when somebody get to fighting, my adrenaline don't get to pumping hard because I've seen it so many times. It's like a boxer. If a boxer in the ring and he sees somebody on the outs fighting, it don't make him like blood get to flowing. He's seeing this all the time. It's
like normal.
Yeah, it's normal. So me doing that, I see a kid swing on a kid or tackle kids. All right, let's get him off of him.
Like, it's crazy, but like in our environment, people will see your ass get killed and get in their car and pull off. Like, damn. It ain't no like, oh my God. No, it's like, damn, they just murked, fam. I'm out of here. It ain't no like, damn, you call, yeah, they just murked cuz on such and such. You feel me? It ain't no, oh my God, they just killed such. No, it's just like, damn, it's fucked up. But that's when your environment is conditioned for that. It's like normal.
All right.
But then, you know, like where we stay and then 5 miles down the highway, that same environment can't even be fathomed.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, we used to gun violence. It's sad to say that, but we've been conditioned by our environment to be used to gun violence and violence at all. So we don't panic. We'd have been in a situation where we somewhere and gunshots get the ringing off. We're not running from the gunshot per se. We run in that direction to see where it's coming from so we can make sure we get out the way. We don't want to run and then you get hit in the back because you don't know where the gunfire is coming. You just heard them. But, you know, it's like when we talked about it before we came on air, you were saying like in a situation like that, you would like to be in that situation because you know, you'd condition yourself to be in that situation. But what about the people who ain't?
exactly.
That's right there. Them the two elements that make mass shootings so horrible. You have a lot of people that ain't mentally ready for that. And then again, who's ready for that? Even if you're a guy that is mentally ready for that, if you follow the law and then take your firearm in that environment, you got a disadvantage already.
That's the whole thing though. Like it's laws in place. That's why they call it soft targets.
Yeah.
Like it's no, you're not going. When has a mass shooter? But like, you know what?
I'm running in the police
I
department.
want to run in the police department. No, them fuckers got guns.
Yeah, they trying
I
to
want to
kill.
fucking shoot at people who want to shoot at me back.
Yeah.
You see when the police came, what they did? Look, the event started at, what was it? It was
25 or something.
10:25. It was over at 10:33.
Yeah.
It lasted 8 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
That whole situation had 8 minutes, bro. As soon as Grand Blanc pulled up, and I want to give my condolences to Grand Blanc and everybody involved in the situation. Because some months ago, my daughter was jumped at Trillium. And, you know, coming from where we come from, you know, I did the right thing. Something I've never done in my life. I ain't gonna say I never. No. What I say is this: I've never cooperated with the police in my life, until a point like, you know what, you're trying to show my kid
The right way.
the right way.
Oh, the right way.
So
Legal way.
right. So basically, go down to the Grand Bank Police Department, whatever. Sit down, have an interview, tell them about what happened, whatever. You know, basically due to my daughter engaging with the other girls, they say she just is at fault as the other kids. I'm like, what? I say, if this was a little white girl getting beat up by those same kids that was jumping my daughter, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah, it'd be a whole different situation.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
So, like I told her, I said, I really thought that this happening in Grand Blanc really was going to give me some leeway on you guys, you know, doing something about the situation. Because, you know, I was excited. I'm like, oh, this happened in Grand Blanc. Oh, hell, they don't play that shit. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? They didn't do shit about it. I told them, I said, hey, man, do you understand the consequences behind stuff like this? Like, I know you from Grand Blanc. Nothing really happens out here. You understand what I'm saying? Until something happens. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all not dealing with the type of stuff that Flint is dealing with on the daily. So you really not prepared like how Flint would be prepared for it. You understand what I'm saying? Because how often does something happen in Grand Blanc? And then if something do happen, you know, just using my situation, maybe if I was in another demographic, it would have went different. But it didn't.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, fast forward now. It's kind of like, who wishes these? I don't know. No one wishes a situation like this. But at the same time, it be situations that police officers, the department just don't be taking serious. They don't. Like, I called the Burton Police Department. What was that? Tuesday. Because I'm like, damn, my son play football. I live in this community. For one, when you listen to the news, they say the guy's from Burton.
Yeah, I think he grew up in Goodrich and moved to Burton.
I live in Burton.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, what if whoever in Grand Blank militant person that they got that's the throwaway guy want to come shoot up our school? You understand what I'm saying? Or
That's, you know what's crazy about that? And that's a segue to get into what I was going to get into. I always crack jokes with my daughter, Nyla, and Rocky. I always crack jokes. And, you know, me and my ex-wife, that's one of the things we used to bump heads about because I wasn't too fond of them going out to Grand Plain schools. Not just because of, you know, the racial stuff or, you know, different with, you know, not being around your own kind like that. It was just, I used to say crack jokes about that, but it's the truth. I started skipping school in high school. You know, so I said I probably been one of the guys that skipped school that day or skipped that hour or something when somebody came in there shooting like that because you don't really have that in black schools. If somebody come up there shooting, they're not shooting in a crowd. They're coming to shoot who they was looking for.
exactly.
In suburban areas with densely Caucasians or white people, yeah, they coming to shoot everything up. It ain't no, I had a problem with this person, I'm coming to the office to shoot this person. I'm coming to shoot everything.
The reason I think that it's more prevalent in white communities than our communities because in a small white community, right? Say, for example, you're getting bullied. The whole town is complicit with your bullying. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Compared to, like, bro, literally, if you, like, the whole town be complicit. Like, I'm going to use the Oxford, the Ethan Crumbler situation.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how the media twisted it, but when you really look at these situations that they don't really never want to look at or talk about, it's like, what did y'all do to Ethan?
To make him snap.
To make him snap like that.
Yeah.
But they're never, ever, they can't. They know he's a bad kid. He did something so horrific. It doesn't matter. So once you do what you do, it doesn't matter what was done to you for you to do that. In the eyes of the law and the eyes of society, you're supposed to take that. Diddy term, take that. You're supposed to just take it, bro. And then just move on with your life. No, it's not going on like that, bro. People ain't just gonna keep taking and taking and taking. You know?
And this on subject with it, but it's parallel with it. And I was talking to my dog Brad about this, and I was being honest. I said, man, you have to look into the psyche of American society. And what I mean by this is, and I hate to say it like this, I know some of my friends gonna disagree. Some people I work with might say something to me. They might get on a fake account and say something to me, which I don't care. I take all comments, if negative or positive. I always said this, and I'm gonna stand by it. It's a hill I'll die on. And I'm far from racist. I'm far from prejudice. None of that. But I see what I see. And when I see what I see, if I'm speaking on it, I'm gonna speak on it. I'm gonna speak fact. That's why it's called transparency.
Exactly.
Transparent. There's a different level of emotion and especially hate. I don't know what a word that can be higher than hate, more deeper than hate. But when white people get this in their mind, you can't talk them out of it. When they get to that point, there's no talking them out of it. There's no other thing. They this is how they feel. This is what they're gonna do. The only way you can stop it is to contain them. I try to be funny when I say this. Was like the Michael Myers. You ever watch Michael Myers? Like, dog, got to the point where nothing was gonna change him. I was gonna kill everybody in my family because I felt like I got mistreated. Halloween night.
But I know people watch the Netflix series Mindhunter. I've watched the series. I've actually had the opportunity to have the book. I've read the whole book. Like, this book is the start of the FBI forensic mental health division of whatever, investigating the mind. Basically, all the serial killers and things like that was serial killers. They end up, when they caught them, they end up going in and interviewing them, asking them questions about why they did what they did and all that type of stuff. And come to find out, a lot of the trauma came from being mistreated by their parents. Like, period. Being mistreated by their parents, especially in the Caucasian setup. You know, you grow up with the mother and the father, you know, the happy home. When that falls apart, that affects white kids way different than it affects me and you.
Yeah, because they ain't saying that's wrong, but they think this family, this how it's supposed to be, supposed to stay like this.
Exactly. Because when we look at our history of America, the Caucasian is the one who came over here and took everything over, bro. So imagine his mindset towards things when he doesn't get his way.
Wait. That's where I was headed to, bro. You just went right to where I was headed to. That's like you right where I was headed to, bro.
If motherfucker, I came over here and took this country. Us, like when you read the history, like we were slaves, they were the conquerors. So as a white man, okay, I'm living by the rules and the laws of things, but once I really get to the point where I feel like what? Ain't no stopping me.
Yeah, ain't no talking. I'm gonna react with violence.
Exactly.
It's deep rooted, like I said before we started. After this happened, I was going to get another gun anyways. I wanted another handgun. Got a couple guns, couple handguns. I wanted another one.
Need a rifle.
No, I got one. I wanted another handgun. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get a Glock 19. I was going to get one anyways. I've been saying this for like the last 6 months. I just didn't get around to it because it wasn't a big need. You get what I'm saying? But when that happened, it made me say, you know what? Go grab one. And the first thing I asked when I went to the gun shop was, did the gun sales go up when this happened? He said, yeah, that weekend and following day, Monday, he said, man, it was lying out the door. I didn't ask him this because I already knew. Because I was just in there doing my background check. It took about an hour. So I'm just.
What they have to do a background check on you for? You got a CPL.
Even with that, they still had to do one.
Why?
That's a new law. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Because of stuff like this, it's a new law. Even if you got your CPL, when you go purchase a firearm, you still got to do a background check, FBI background check. So it take a little minute going through the system. It depends on how quick the system to get it done, but go in there. But I'm already looking around, and I seen one black couple come in the store. Everybody else is white. And I'm saying this, what you just said, to piggyback on it. It's the hatred. When it gets to that point when I feel like whatever is not going my way, there's no talking. I'm reacting. I'm responding with violence, and that violence ain't gonna be usually fighting. It's gonna be gun. It's gonna be a weapon. And if you look at, like you just said, I said, man, look at all the mass shootings in America. Look predominantly who does it. We go back to the episode we just did. We normally don't go back episode because we just change the episode. We just talk about this. We got another topic to talk about.
I want to do a round 2 on that last episode.
We might have to after this.
Because it was so much stuff, bro. After we had the episode that just came out, like I'm like, damn, we got to do a round 2.
So like with the Charlie Kirk situation, what the dog say? I was praying that it wasn't one of us. He wasn't talking about the Utah, somebody from Utah. He was talking about a skin. And this is what I said.
Now check this out. Jacob, he spent some time in Utah. Just throw that out there, spent some time in Utah, got a little DUIs out in Utah and things like that,
And it's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said and it's not every white person. I'm saying the ones that does this. It's in them. They got a different level of hate. And a different way of thinking, like you said.
You know what? Look, let's not call it hate, because it's not hate, bro. It's instinct. Because once again, bro, look what they did, bro. Look, one of the things we don't talk about is the millions of Native Americans that was murdered.
Yeah, that
they try to say. When we got here, it wasn't nothing here. It was just, no. Our history is told in a form to where it's acceptable. Period.
Yeah.
They don't tell you about, okay, when they came over here, the natives wasn't having it. The saying is, if Indians came to the point of defeat, they cut their own throats, bro. Because I heard them say, what? They say, yeah, like, because they knew what these people was coming to do, bro.
Oh, no, what you just said that, and that's getting a little bit off topic. I've been always said that. That was a difference between them and us. They said, we know if you conquer us, what's coming next. You're going to try to enslave us. Because that's the spoils of war. They didn't do that. And what you said, go back to, what
because
we
they couldn't.
Yeah.
Because they knew everybody. The reason the Indians gone, bro, because wasn't nobody having it, bro.
Yeah.
They like, no.
That was, even we different tribes, that was the mindset. Yeah. And when you go back and you think about how I said, like, to have the mental that I'm having an issue, and instead of trying to go get help, fuck that, I don't want no more help, or I don't want to get help, my response is I'm going to kill or harm as many people as I can and do a suicide pact. That's what the mass shooters do, most of them. And it's just crazy because, like I said, it's not saying ain't none ever been black, because I think that DC sniper was black.
Bro, that's the only one.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's just that's not in a black person's...
In the book Mindhunter.
Mental.
In the book Mindhunter, bro, they broke down all the stuff when it come to criminality. Like, bro, in the book it say black folks don't do mass shootings.
No, we don't.
They just don't do it.
It's not.
What
That's what I'm saying. It's
like,
not
so
in our makeup to
when
do
it comes to the FBI, just like, they talk about, I hope it's not one of us. When it comes to the FBI profiling the case, they got profilers, bro. They got real people in the FBI that's a profiler to come sit, and while they ask you questions, he just sitting there just looking at you. He ain't asking no questions. He's profiling you.
Yeah, checking your body language out.
Body
everything.
language, how you respond to the question. Just the way you respond to a question is show your ideology.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you ever watched the movie No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I watched it.
If you see when they talk about that, it is a psychological thing. If you look at a person's forehead and it's smooth, they don't have no creases. Like, you know what I'm saying? When they talk, you don't ever see no creases. It means you got something, bro. When I say smooth, you got creases. The ones that have no creases, when you check, that means they don't do a lot of thinking rationally. Like, you see something, you're like, let me think about that.
So like, well, basically, like how I'm now right now, basically.
Yeah, they showed that that's like that's a trait, a physical trait for sociopaths. They don't have.
So basically, you just.
Yeah, you don't think. It ain't no. Once you think, you just think. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no back and forth. It's not a teeter-tot. Should I do this? Should I not do this? That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. And if you go back, I bullshit you not, when you get a chance, or any of the viewers, go back and watch the guy. He never had a name, but it was the guy that was killing him with the air. I don't know the name of that motherfucking machine off the job, but he was the dude that was killing. He was the assassin. And he was killing
air
with
gun.
The air gun, the thing you kill. I forgot the exact name, but it was just
the cattle with.
If you go watch it, just go put you. They made sure they kept his forehead smooth. Look it up. And it's things like that. And what you said, like, again, criminality. The most heinous crimes happen on this soil. United States soil happens from Caucasians. It ain't what they would make it seem like is, and that's why you can do proximity. That's why I said with the Charlie Kirk shit, is I can play with numbers and words and make it seem like what it ain't. So the same thing he was saying about crime and black people doing all that. Here we go. It ain't that the reason why more of the mass shootings is white people because it's more white people than blacks or other colors. It's literally, you can go by the ratio of it. It is what it is. The most heinous crimes, serial killers are what?
White.
Serial rapists.
White.
I was talking to my dog Brad because he's from Filipino descent, and he stayed in Grand Blanc his whole life. And we was just talking about it. And I said this, and this was the truth. I'm talking about. I'm like, if you go back and look at how they treated us for hundreds of years, I said, man, do you know how? Again, that's why I said the word hate. You said don't use hate; it's instinct, so that's even worse. But I said it had to be something above hate. But I said to sit up and give babies to alligators in Florida and by the bayou and Delta and stuff like that. This documented happened. But I go further than that. This is 2025. This had to be 75 years ago. They were still doing this. About 75 years they were still doing this. Public lynchings, meaning we're in a town, right? So what we're looking for, like we was looking forward to the Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight. We're looking towards the Game 7 of the finals. You're looking towards the Super Bowl. We was looking for, 8/110 day. You looking for Juneteenth, stuff like that. They was looking forward to public lynchings. That means kids like you got your baby in your arm and all the way up will gather in the town and watch a person literally lose their essence. They dying. And then some of them that got lynched, they would burn them after they lynched them. And you sitting there, we got the photographs to show this, how they smile, how sadistic them smiles look. To be able to sit back and, like, this is me, and anybody can take it anywhere. If I'm going to kill you, yeah, I have no problem killing you. Because it's something you did to me, one of us got to go. You get what I'm saying? But for me to watch another person get killed that I have no ties to and just sit back and watch it, it's not something I'm going to watch. It's not going to make me throw up or nothing, but it ain't shit I want to watch. Like, no, I ain't, y'all some bull. I don't want to watch that shit.
One of the words you said was smile. So, therapy, learned about body language. Well, you already gotta know about body language, but went to therapy, they brought up body language, because one of the things that working at where I work at, you feel me, you know, body language is more than you ever can imagine. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things was this about Caucasians, that this is what the therapist was white. So if the white therapist telling you about smiles, do you understand smiles? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, do you know what a natural smile is? I'm like, I guess so. She say this. So look, if someone smiles at you with their teeth, that's a sign of aggression. Like slight little hold your teeth out like real like this, like, how you doing? Oh, teeth, that's a sign of aggression. But most people don't even realize it. What you look for is your coworkers at work is when you speak to them is you don't really, most people facial expressions don't change when they speak when they talk. When they say, hey, how you doing? It's just, hey, how you doing? You know, when you get that person that's showing their teeth, the hard smile, they over smiling too hard, showing you their teeth, watch out for those people. Those are the people who really, watch out for those people. The hard smiles. I know, Brody, you work with Caucasians. Those smiles. Hi, Robert.
Yeah. It's almost like the Joker.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's not friendly. That's passive aggression. Like, if I just met you, I don't know you. Hey, what's up, Mr. Room? How you doing? I ain't gonna be, hey, Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
You
showing you all my teeth.
You
like,
masking.
You understand what I'm
it's
saying?
It's a mask. You masking exactly, the real you. Bro. And that's what I was getting at. And like I said, I don't want to, again, I'm not prejudiced, not racist. And anybody can tell you, I ain't saying this in Charlie Kirk. I'm telling you really what goes on. If you look at it from this standpoint, I heard it was a clip that my dog Brad showed me. This was some killing happened earlier. I mean, not killing, but a mass murder and shooting happened somewhere earlier in either Florida or Texas. And they had the anchor talking about it. And he was white. And he talked about it. And he said what it is. It's true. If that's why I go back to Charlie Kirk, I wish it wasn't one of our own. He wasn't saying one of his own like somebody from Utah. He was saying, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If that would have been a person of color, if half these mass shootings would have been people of color, or let's say an Islamic person, all hell would have broke loose.
One of the things that really blew me was like, this was a Mormon church, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess dude had Mormon ideologies, whatever, negative ideology towards Mormons or something like that.
We won't know.
You know, like that's what some of the people
were trying to say over
but you won't know.
That's the other thing about that too. You won't know because dog got killed.
And that's another thing I was gonna say too.
You won't know what his motives is.
When you die, bro, it's really just that's it.
That's it. We don't know. We'll never know really what happened. Unless he left some behind with writing that we can verify. Even then, that's kind of sketchy. If you couldn't really sit down and interview this dude, you never know. Whoever you ask could be fabricating the story. Even if he did talk to somebody, you will never know what dog really did. But the one thing I do know is the traits, the patterns. Mm-hmm. This is always the last mass shooting in Michigan. White. It's always white. Because the way some of them, like you, I'm going to use your word to get instinct. They instinctual, how they do stuff is, I gotta hurt. I don't understand nothing else. That's why I go back. Everything I usually when I talk to people, now I talk on a podcast like I would talk to somebody because it's intimate, like I would talk to somebody face to face. I tie all my points together. That's why I said when I went to the gun store, it was mainly white. Mm-hmm. If you look who buy majority guns, mainly white. If you see who be at gun range, gun shows, white. It's something about them when it comes to violent excites them. And I'm going to tie it up with this. I was talking to Brad about this. I said, man, and I seen, he said it was crazy because I was outside. I think our phone do be listening to us now. It popped up, I was talking about it, and it popped up with Charleston White. He was saying something I had been saying for years, bro.
And Charleston, my nigga, man.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to get him on the podcast. I just know it's going to cost an arm and a leg, but I want to get him on there. This is the truth. Why America? You know, I'm just talking about America, and because I'm American, so I got the right to talk about this. But I always said this with Americans. Why do our society have such a fascination with fucking have a fascination when it comes to violence and people who commit violence? Meaning, Jeffrey Dahmer. That was a Netflix original. It's one of the highest viewed, highest rated Netflix original, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. The Ted Bundy joint, same way. The stuff about Charles Manson, the same way. Even if you look at the highest rated, this is my field, this is your field now. Google it. The highest rated podcast be true crime. And it's usually not true crime talking about, you know, let's say drugs and things. It be violent acts, murder.
The ID channel.
Yeah. What is the fascination with American mental state that is so excited and intrigued about violence? Like that's why I brought that up. Like, go look it up. This is natural black. Like why?
So being the dominant ethnicity, you control everything.
Yeah.
So you gotta let these motherfuckers know what we capable of and what we willing to do. You understand what I'm saying? I truly believe any serial killer or whatever, like for example, they are their throwaways, bro. They are their flunkies. Just like in the hood, you got a flunky, you got a guy that, you know, go do all the goofy shit. Or if you can manipulate him doing all the goofy shit. Like, that's those people. When it come to mass shooters, bro, the way I look at them as a means to an end. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I look at, like, when they're there, I believe they already know they going to do what they doing.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I believe, you can call me a sub, whatever, conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call me. Bro, I believe the dude in Grand Blanc, they already knew he was doing it. Whoever his carrier is knew he was about to go do that shit, bro. I don't think none of this shit like some just random, a guy just flipped this switch and I'm about to go blue. No, bro.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, bro.
I believe that most of these situations are carried out, bro, to control, to manipulate the masses,
It wouldn't surprise me, bro. Because, like I said, it that's why I go back to hammering that point down. Why would I shed light to some shit Jeffrey Dahmer did?
Because I want
30
you to,
years ago.
because I fuck with Jeffrey Dahmer. Like
40 years ago.
We really, okay, just like politicians and our government. You know, you get the, like, for example, the Epstein stuff, right? Come to find out, like, I know that he was a Israeli spy. They don't want to talk about him being an Israeli spy. That's why it's so intricate about everything that's in the Epstein's file, because this guy was a fucking spy, bro. He was an agent, bro, from the Israeli intelligence service, bro. To come over, get dirt on America, and they put politicians and everything
in bad situations.
And he got that. But his ass died in Brooklyn, motherfucking what's the name? Nigga?
Yeah, when you get a hold, you cook.
We ain't letting you get back to Israel, bitch. We killing you, nigga.
Yeah, when you get you cooked.
Fuck you mean? You ain't about to pit out my freaky judge, buddy.
And that's why I say with the mass murdering, I said that conspiracy theory you just said, I could roll with it because most of the mass killers, they get killed. So when it tied to the loose end, you can't say what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a whistleblower, they take care of you quickly. You know, and it's back to what I said. Like, you know, when I heard Charlie Kirk say what he said, you might have to lose a couple lives to have the freedom of having guns. And I'm not against having freedom of guns.
Look, that's one thing is this. When I tell you I am 100% for the Second Amendment.
No, I'm with it.
I am not with any restrictions of gun laws, period. Because responsible people who own guns are not doing this shit. We just need more responsible people that own guns to realize that you're the savior. You're our hero. Act like it. Motherfucker, if you got guns, when you out in the public, act like you got not act like you got a gun, but be prepared to serve like you got a gun, bro.
The only thing I say about guns, like I think everybody should have a right to own them. My problem will come in, I don't think it's enough work having a gun. Even when these kids get access to these guns, how? Because your parent was so lackadaisical that they could get to the gun. Like my man's, I'm pretty sure he was a CPL holder. Can't think his name right now, but dog that just did the shooting. I don't know why it just fled my mind, but
I don't need to. I know who his name is.
Yeah, but
fuck him.
Yeah, I bet he had one, and that's my problem. I always said that a gun gives you in a split second the chance to control somebody's life.
Exactly.
It should be harder,
especially if you can't fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It should be harder to access this than what it is. I don't think you should take it away, but I think, yeah, the gun laws should be a little stricter. And that's why we said earlier, I wasn't tripping about them doing a background check. You should. Because what people do background checks with they be looking for like criminal activity. Fuck that. What was your mental background? How much therapy do you take? Because I ain't trying to be funny. If I see a motherfucker heavy in the therapy, I don't think you need a gun. Because we got to let you get through that therapy and then let it sit with you for a while and make sure you mentally ready.
But then we got HIPAA.
That's
so
what you just said.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what soft targets. That's what they do.
Everything is created
to create shit like this.
Man, bro, they create. So look, I believe this is a country of controlled chaos.
It is. Let's make money. I go back to what I just said. What is the leading podcast topic or podcast shows? Look it up, the viewers. It's true crime. And they talking about unsolved murders. That'd be the number one things. Murders and unsolved murders. What is the vaccination with that shit? It's control chaos. And that's why
fear.
Yeah, fear. That's what it come with. I just said it. It made me jump and go. I was go get a gun, bro, another handgun. Anyways, I was tired of the old ones I had. But that pushed me. Go grab that,
bro.
Gun industry, Glock just made some money, $700 off me because I got pushed. I was already at the ledge to go get it, but this push. How many more people did what I did? Now I ain't even radical. Now let's talk about the ones that's radical with guns.
But you need, bro. Look, I was just watching this guy. Boy, that's how I am. Once I get my shit, you go see. Well, you go see. I've always been militant. You understand what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Like, bro. Shit, the way I have rolled with illegally,
right?
You understand what I'm saying? The way I have been armed over my lifetime, bro. The type of shit that I rolled around with and had in the car with me to protect myself, bro. Been assault rifles, bro. You ain't riding around with no Glock, bro. Riding around with an assault pistol. You understand what I'm saying? Like, not about to play with nobody, bro. Like, every CPL holder should have a rifle in their vehicle.
Yeah, I ain't
what I'm saying?
The same way.
With 4 magazines. You should be ready. You should have 4 to 5 magazines, bro, ready to do battle. With who? The motherfucking Walmart shooter. You should, if the motherfucking Walmart shooting, for one, you should have your gun on you ready to do what you got to do with him in that bitch. But if it really, bro, I'm going to be that nigga running out to the car to get my rifle and running back in the store. People going to be like, man, what if they think you... I say, look, bro. A clear-thinking person go be able to tell between a mass shooter and a person that's protecting them, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You understand what I'm saying? So if something going on, so I'm running out of Walmart. I know the guy in there shooting. If I see a person regular clothes like me running into the store with an assault rifle, bro, that's not the mass shooter.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because the mass shooter not running towards shit.
Nah.
But that's critical thinking from being in
them situations.
Critical situations. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's what go back to what you said. That's the label for it. Soft targets. You know they ain't ready for this.
Bro, the police. Bro, I swear to God, bro. The police not even game tight.
No.
On situations.
No, they ain't.
Look, so when the thing happened with my daughter, I'm just trying to break things down to him. I say, who was the girl recording? Like, they like, we don't know. I say,
we got to wrap it up.
Okay. I say, I know, you know. I say, don't you know that the person that recorded the video get done worse than the people who actually was inside the video? They're like, huh? I say, yes, like, bro, like when stuff like this happen in the black community, the first person we want to kill is the person who was recording it. You're like, huh? I'm like, y'all don't know this type of stuff? Bro, I don't know if he was just trying to play dumb with it or something, you know, or not. I don't know. But, bro, they really don't, I don't know, bro. I think they really be in a world that they live in of comfort that
can't happen.
It can't happen. Like, they really in the, oh, that's not going to happen. That's not possible.
Man, I'm going to wrap it up, but again, man, sympathy, condolences, prayers go out to everybody affected with that one. We're going to have to figure it out. And I'm going to wrap it up with this. That, because white people are doing it, our hands tied. Nah, USA government, y'all got to figure some shit out with that one. Because if it's nothing but white people doing it.
Because if your ass did it,
I'll be cooked. And everything would change. Everything would change, bro. So what you been bumping, bro?
Bro, man, I've been listening to this one cat, bro. Damn, my damn phone dead. I've been listening to Cooking Soul. I don't know if y'all know who Cooking Soul is, you feel me? But Cooking Soul, you know, another cat. He producer.
Yeah,
you feel me? You will find some. That's how you find like good artists. It's like depending on who they producers is. Like, you know, Cooking Soul, he a real like.
He mess with all the artists we listen to.
Mess with all the type of artists, and then like you will find a new up and coming guy that he ain't probably felt like, you know, deserved the production. But then who is this cat? So yeah, man, Cooking Soul, man, y'all need to tap in with it.
Mine, before we get up out of here, Jay Worthy. That new Once Upon a Time, man, that project is cold. Like I'm on it. I'm gonna be on that for the rest of the year. That's a cold one. Yeah, check it out, Jay Worthy. Once Upon a Time, man. My favorite song on that one is probably "Choosing Shoes" with Bodie James. Again, you know, call to action. Get out there, leave the comments. Check us out. We on all platforms: YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find us at. Check us out, man. We appreciate all the love, man. Run them numbers up. Hey, become a supporter. We need it, and we need sponsors. So we love all y'all, man. Keep tuning in, man. We out.